A very warm Thanksgiving Day 2018. It's Donna Ray here at Flannel Jammies Farm, and I'm glad to visit with you today. It has been a long time, and I apologize for that. Many of you know that I've had some health challenges, and it's been a hard season for me, but I am delighted to be here in this space visiting with you today. We had our special feast and day of thanks on Tuesday. Our son Robert and our son-in-law Scott came for the day, and we had a lovely day of feasting and fun and conversation. It was just very cozy and just what the doctor ordered. Our son-in-law Scott is going to be flying out very soon to join his bride, our daughter Trista, in Singapore for their fantastic adventure ahead. I wish them so much joy and safety and wonder as they spend time in Singapore, living there and enjoying the culture. So, on this day of thanks, I wanted to extend my deepest gratitude to all of you. You all have been so dear to me. You have commented sweetly on my social media posts. You have tapped lightly on the doors of my private messaging areas, just checking on me. And I so appreciate it. You cannot know how much it means to me that you all take the time to think of me, to say a prayer for me, to send me light and love. It's what holds me up, and I just wanted to thank you. There are some very special thanks that I need to give. I won't go through the things that have been sent to me and the joy that I've had from them, but I will tell you the names of the people who have been especially gracious to me in this season. And that's Andy of Nana's Needles, Tamara of This Nana Stitches, Ginger Gerald, and Vicky of Stitch and Button, Beth at Heartstring Samplery, love you Beth, Cecilia of Heart and Hand, Audrey Stitchy Witch 42, Jay at Mortuary Stitches, Glenn the Southern Stitcher, Jackie Merchant, Connie Salter, and of course the wonderful Ann Robbins and all of her crew at Dying to Stitch, who have showered me with hugs and enabled me with things to get me through this time. I thank you. You all have been incredibly generous, and I am ever grateful. I am woefully behind in my FlossTube viewing. For a while I wasn't up to even watching, and now my queue is, 22 miles long. But I will catch up. I will, I promise. Just a little sip from my turkey mug. Did you see my turkey mug? I have these beautiful turkey dishes. Love it. So a quick honeybee update. We had a colony, as sometimes happens in the autumn season, abscond. So absconding is a process where a colony of honeybees will decide to skip out on their lease and vacate the premises, all of them. It's different from swarming, where that's a process of multiplying hives, where part of the bees leave and some of them stay. In this case, we had a hive just in the last couple of weeks leave. We were very hospitable. I do not understand. Actually, absconding is not a well understood process by bee folks. We're pretty sure it's caused by pressures on the hive. Either there's not a lot of forage for the bees to collect, or they don't have enough stores for the winter season, or there's been an invasion of pests, either insect or intrusion from larger animals, mammals of some kind, or that they're overcrowded, or maybe it's just crazy weather. Now we know that this hive was very strong. and the bees had plenty of stores and they weren't overcrowded, so I'm not sure what happened, but we wish them well on their journey, and we hope that the great bee has led them to a safe and cozy new home. We're sad to see them go, but it happens. All right, shall we talk about my finishes? I have a couple. The first one, let me move this aside. This was a freebie from Ink Circles, and it came just in time for the election, right? It's I voted. And I chose to do this as a pin, and here it is. I love this little thing. I made a couple of changes, you'll see, and I'm showing it. It's a freebie, so I am showing the chart. Please forgive me. But you can go and get it yourself. It's from Ink Circles, and it's called I Voted. I made a couple of changes to the bottom. There was a box with an X in it and a check, and I just combined the two. So I made a little box. I actually stitched it over the box itself in blue, and then I did just a long back stitch for the check mark inside the box. So what I did, I stitched it on a sweet little linen, and I chose my own colors, and I cut the linen, leaving a large margin in the oval shape. I also cut a small piece of flannel in that same oval shape and put on the back side of the design. Then I cut an oval of mat board and put that on the back of the design. Okay, so we've got linen, then flannel, then mat board. Okay, so I ran a running stitch close to the edge around the linen, and I pulled it tight and gathered it to the back of the mat board and secured it, you know, kind of laced it in the back to secure it. I then took a narrow strip of ticking, blue and kind of beige ticking fabric, and ran a running stitch all along the edge and gathered it up and added it to the back. I sewed it to the back of the design to the linen. So then I cut an oval of felt, just a kind of beige felt to go with the front of the design. Cut two little slits in the back and added the pin. And I glued the felt to the ticking so that it wasn't glued to my stitching, but to the ticking. And now I have a permanent I Voted sticker that I can wear proudly at every election. If you are not a voter, I encourage you to do so. Take part in this very special privilege of ours in this democracy. Vote. Educate yourself on the candidates and vote. Make your voice heard. So that was a great freebie. The next one was I received this. Oh, pardon me. I received this from Audrey, Stitchy Witch 42, and she had received it from Jay, Mortuary Stitches. And this is the Primitive Hare's Boo Tree. And I love this design. Okay, I love it. I absolutely love it. But I thought that the black was a little harsh. So I went ahead, I've stitched it on, where's my finish? There it is. I've stitched it on creek bed brown linen from R&R Reproductions, and everywhere there was black, I used Gentle Arts soot. And I think it gives it just a softer look. I made a couple of other little changes. I think we're calling them design choices now. Yeah, that was me. But there it is. I think it's darling, and I can't wait. I have a finishing idea to fully finish it that is going to be really, really sweet, and I hope to show you that very soon. So the Boo Tree from Primitive Hare. Next, Ginger Gerald has been coming out with some new designs, and one that caught my eye was 1492. And it's just darling, right? It's got, you know, kind of the outline of the continents and the three little ships. And it says, in 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. I love this design. Ginger Gerald is great. He encourages us to use our own fabrics and flosses, make our own choices so that our designs are uniquely ours. So I did just that. I stitched this on a dyed by me linen, and I switched out the colors, and here it is. Here's my finish. I'm not sure how I'm going to finish it, but I love the soft look of the font and the kind of old world feel of this. Ginger Gerald, I love this design. Thank you very much. So there it is, $14.92. All right. I didn't have any new starts lately because I wasn't feeling up to it. So I went back to something very cozy and very comfortable for me to stitch, something that was very soothing for me, and I want to show that to you. So this one is Brenda Gervais Quaker Handwork. Remember, this was a stitch along. It is this way. This was a stitch along. Lots of people did this one, and I hadn't finished it. And when I wasn't feeling well, I picked it back up because I'm finding that I absolutely love the Quaker motifs and the rhythmic nature of stitching this. It was just what I needed at the time. So I finished it. I did this one on 36 count Stars Hollow blend from R&R Reproductions. And when I went to pull the threads, I don't know if you remember, I told you, I pulled the called for threads, and the bird and the berries looked very rust colored with the called for threads. So I swapped out, I used Victoria Motto's wine cellar and pressed rose petals for the birds and the berries. I also changed up this area here. The area was charted for 2 initials, and I, being Donna Ray, I wanted to have all 3 of my initials in there, so I changed it up so that all 3 would fit. And then I've got Tom Barrow and Robert Barrow and Trista Graziano, my family in here, my children and my husband, and I just adore this piece. I'm going to send it off for framing because I think it's just beautiful, and I'm really excited to find that I love these Quaker pieces, and I want to do more. I really, I think it would be fun to do more Quakers in the future. So there's that. I have tons of whips. I'm not going to drag them out today because I don't think I could sit here that long, and I know that you don't want to. So I'll show you more of my whips next time. We'll make this kind of a short visit, and I'll have lots to show you next time that we get together. I did want to mention a fun stitch along that is starting tomorrow, November 23rd, 2018. So the darling ladies at Snug Harbor Crafts, hi Debbie, hi Kef, they are hosting a stitch along called the Coming to Town stitch along, okay? And they are stitching Lizzie Kate's Santa's Coming to Town 2011, I think. And lots of other people are stitching that particular design. In fact, I think Crazy Annie's has a whole kit that you can order. It's all kitted up. But if you'd like to join Debbie and Kef, Snug Harbor Crafts, on their Coming to Town Sal, you can stitch any Lizzie Kate Christmas pattern. Love that! So I'm going to be stitching Dear Santa, I've Been Good. Maybe not, but that's okay. I think I'm going to do this little square one that says naughty, nice, or I tried. I'll be checking that I tried box. And if I'm up to it, if I'm feeling well, I might try this one too, because I think this is just a darling design. So I'm going to be doing this one. And if you're going to join along, here's what you need to do. You need to tag Snug Harbor Crafts on social media with your posts, and you need to use the hashtag Coming to Town Sal. So Coming to Town, S-A-L. I've heard a rumor that there might be prizes. I heard that they might be spectacular prizes, so we'll see. Oh, friends, it's been a lovely little visit with you today. I am so glad that so many of you are still my friends after such a long absence. I appreciate your friendship and your love so much. I wish you all a very cozy day of joy and warmth. I am thrilled that we are coming into the Advent season. It's a season of anticipation, a season to celebrate the coming of the Christ child. It's a season of renewal and hope for me, the beginning of the church year. But I hope that however you greet this season, in whatever way that you choose to celebrate, that it is a time of new beginnings and a time of brightness and hope for you. My friends, may we each be the grace and the kindness that we want to see in our world. Bye-bye, my friends.
If I just say the words, is that enough to make them true? If I just say the words, well, you know that I love you. I try to open up my heart so that you can see the truth. If I just say the